Hey guys, Brandon here, and in this week's video is actually going to be a little different than I anticipated. It's going to be comparing the difference between the ARS show display and the next level show display. I know I mentioned that I was working on a video about making videos, and that is still coming, but it'll probably be next week. It's a little bit more, I don't want to say difficult, but involved than I expected it would be, and I want to try and make it as simple as possible because I do feel that making a video simple, or being able to make a video with as little friction as possible, leads to a lot of success. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm trying to put together so that it is as smooth as possible and is easy to follow without it being super technical. I feel like the video I made a while back about photos was way too technical, and that could easily be discouraging, and I want this to be anything but discouraging. So on to this week's topic, which, like I said, is going to be comparing an ARS show display versus the next level show display. So setting up the ARS show display is quite simple. It comes in a nice, solid box, holes in the side to allow for airflow so your animals aren't going to overheat in there. Basically, you just open it up, lay out your levels, you flip the box upside down, and then you're able to basically put your displays on top of the case. Now, this is something that I actually do not like. I feel like, especially with the other lights that people typically use, let me go get that. So these things, not that you can really see, oh, and my lovely notes, but they have this right here, and it doesn't really sit flush in the back. So that in itself kind of sucks, and I've since been talked out of using these lights by my friend Corey over at CD Constrictors. Now, some things that I do like about the ARS Display 1, they come in a variety of colors. You can get them for clear, which runs about $500, and then you can get the colored ones, which are $525. Obviously, that is both plus shipping, but overall, you can get them for colors that'll match your scheme. Like for me, I picked orange because I feel like it goes well with a lot of stuff that I'm working with. But they do come in a variety of colors, and some people even prefer to use clear, which I'm not a big fan of that, but all of the sides and everything else are acrylic or PV or some sort of plastic or polycarbonate or something like that, but the top are glass. And why that's important is a lot of people use those little markers to write on there, and it comes off really easy, or you can stick stuff to it easily, and you're able to clean it really easily. Now, we'll get to why that's a downside in the next level rack here in a bit, but for ARS, it makes it super easy to clean, and it keeps it nice and polished. Now, I did briefly touch on the lights, and while I don't like the light that I was holding just a little bit ago, what I did recently get were JSA lights. The lighting guys or something like that, JSA Reptiles, they put together a light, and I'm sure they're using some sort of aquarium or something like that lighting. They are fairly expensive at $250 a piece, and the case is $200. But overall, though, the price actually works out really nice, and it's one of those things where you buy once and you cry once. Those lights the light that I had shown before, it's like $50 from Amazon, and it's not that bad, but it's not that great. Sometimes they turn off, sometimes it's just not as consistent. Those JSA lights, they fit right alongside the outside of the ARS display, and they look really great. The one thing that I would change with ARS is definitely the display stand. And Brian from Bane of My Exotics, he built some amazing stands for his displays, and I'm looking to do something similar for mine. If not, just lay them all kind of right next to each other, and then you can look down to see the animals. I really don't like putting them up on the actual stands, and I would prefer to actually put them on top of something, as I just think that look is a lot cleaner, for me personally. So now let's talk about the next level display. It also comes in a very secure box, plenty of ventilation to allow for proper airflow so your animals aren't going to overheat. Setting it up is a little bit more cumbersome. It took me a lot longer to figure out, and I got these from my buddy Jason Guile. You basically have to take off the top, take the top completely off, and then one of the panels pops off completely, and then you have to accordion style the entire display open. Now, it is nice that it sits up in its own display, and that is super nice. I will say I actually prefer this case more. If ARS could make a case like this, that would be actually really nice, and I think that case would be fairly beneficial, but that's kind of where the things that I like stop. Now, another thing that's interesting about this case is that it has heat built in, as well as the lighting built in. So the lighting just kind of periscopes up and pulls out. Now the problem with this is it's a little flimsy. So I'm not a big fan of that. It's not super stable, and it is very bright, so it does show the animals well, but I feel like it's just a little flimsy. I prefer the JSA light leaps and bounds over this light personally. Now, going to Next Level's website, I felt like previously you could get them in several different colors. However, now it basically just seems like you could just get them in black. And I don't know if that's something that I'm missing. Their site took forever to load, so usability on that end kind of sucks. But, you know, my buddy, he has the white ones. The ones that are on the website right now look black. Both of them do look very nice. The one big flaw is that the entire case is acrylic. And aside from that, you also have individual compartments that open up with individual keys. So it's like you have to put a key into each spot to open up each slot, which sounds good, but in the ARS, you just have that little slide bar. So you unlock the bar, you slide it down, and then you're able to open up each individual top. And while I can see how that would be beneficial from a security standpoint, it's really cumbersome to use on like an individual basis. Now, one thing that the Next Level displays do have, which I think is really nice, is they actually have a removable insert inside of each display. So you can basically make the displays go from 4 to 3 to 2 to just one large open spot. Now for ARS, you have to order those individually in 1 slot, 2 slot, 3 slot, 4 slot, and 5 slot. And then you can also order individual acrylic dividers, which I don't think look as clean. And back into the build quality. So on the ARS, it's all sliding tops. Meanwhile, in the Next Level version, it is acrylic panels. And that in itself is a real pain point for me, especially for the cost, which I'll get to, but they are acrylic, so they're gonna scratch super easy. You're gonna have to like be so delicate when you clean them, and you're not gonna be able to use the markers, otherwise those are almost surely gonna stain, and it's just not the same quality as glass. I feel like the glass top is so much nicer, and overall I feel like getting the acrylic tops is just asking for trouble, especially for the cost. So as you could tell from this whole thing, this was pretty much a hit piece on Next Level. And I did not intend that to be, but I'm definitely an ARS fanboy. And there's a couple reasons for that. I feel like you get a really good bang for your buck, the quality is nice, and the customer service is great. This isn't a sponsored ad, although if they would want to sponsor me, I would greatly appreciate a new rack. So aside from being a fan of ARS, the big difference between an ARS display and these Next Level displays, if you get one ARS display, a clear one is $500, the color is $525. You're going to be paying shipping on top of that, and then if you want the JSA lights, which I would highly recommend, $250 a pop, $200 for a case. You can fit like I think 4 of them per case, but it's like for me, like I have 2 ARS displays. I bought 2 lights and the case from JSA, that was like $750. So let's say what, that's 5,000, you know, I don't know what, 7, so like 17-ish, $1,800-ish for 2 displays, 2 lights, and a case. Now, with the Next Level, it's a whole different situation. If you were to buy a singular, as in one, Next Level display, you are going to be paying $1,159. That is way too expensive. I get it. The display case is nice. The little accordion thing, once you figure out how to open the thing, that's great. The telescoping light, that's cool. A little floppy, still cool. Shows your animals well. I like that it is in one contained unit. Again, the acrylic tops, that in itself is a deal breaker, but also the fact that it's over $1,000 for 1 unit. Now, if you were to get 2 units, that's $2,173. The main unit is the one that has the ability to control the thermostat and the lighting, and then you plug that second unit into that. So you're in for the 2 setups and the lighting for $2,173. You could basically get 3 ARS displays for that same cost. And it's just absolutely wild to me, because for ARS, you're looking at $500 a piece, basically, right? Like 15, you know, 16, 25 or something like that. No, my math is wrong. 5, 10, 15, yeah, 1575. So 1575 for the color displays plus the lighting. Like you're getting 3 displays for the cost of 2, and you're getting glass tops, and you're getting colors that match your like branding. So overall, for me, ARS wins. I really do like them. I wish that you could get a different kind of case for the ARS displays. And in the future, I do plan on making my own custom cases for the ARS system. So that way, whenever I go to a show, I'm using that versus the actual case, because quite frankly, the case is just ugly. It's not very clean and it's not very streamlined. So let me know down in the comments below what you prefer. If you like ARS, if you like Next Level, if there's some other brand that you like, which honorable mention, Tumera Designs or something, they make a really nice deli cup display. Instead of having like deli cups just littered across your table, which that looks terrible all in itself. I've seen some videos looking into other species and it's just like deli cups littered across the table, and I don't understand that. Like that doesn't look good, especially for people that I feel like are kind of the leaders of said industry. Just deli cup galore on the table. It's not very organized. It's not very clean. I don't know. It's just a different kind of look for me. Not a fan. And then you also have Superior Shipping Supplies. Superior Shipping Supplies. They also make a deli cup display. While I prefer the Tumera Designs one, it has like LED lights and stuff on the side, so it illuminates the animals from basically the inside of the deli cup, so there's no lights overhead. So it actually looks really clean. Whenever I start producing some of these other species, which are a little bit smaller, unless ARS basically comes out with something to match that, which I have suggested to them, it would be nice to basically have those kind of in the middle with all the miscellaneous species, and then on the outside, I would basically have the ball pythons, Burmese pythons, blood pythons, and whatever other kind of species I'm working with. I think it'd be really cool. Again, let me know in the comments down below what you think, if you like this video. And you know, next week I will have the video for doing videos out and done. Thanks for watching. So see you guys in the next video. So I finished the recording, and I forgot one important thing that I didn't mention, was that the Next Level keys are terrible. As I mentioned about how you have to use individual ones for each level, they're also so different, because at least with an ARS display, if you go to anybody else at the show that has ARS displays, which are far more common, you will be able to get into, and someone will likely have an extra key that they can give you. While Next Level displays are so expensive that is kind of a limiting factor. If you forget that key, you're kind of screwed. You're not going to be able to get into your display, and you're going to have a bad time. So that is another plus for ARS. All right.